Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Are you ready for an adventure? It will be an adventure to spend the rest of your life with a Filipina wife who will know little to nothing of life in your country, and you'll get to teach her a lot of things. It will be an adventure for her to come be with you. Now, the whole travel experience to the Philippines is an adventure. I still hear of some people that are reluctant to go to the Philippines to marry someone. I do think it is very important to do so for one main reason. You get to meet her family and they get to meet you, but also you get to see what the Philippines is like. And if you're in the Philippines for a few weeks, you kind of can get a better idea of what her life was like growing up. For me, going to Philippines, first international flights, it was 4 flights, 3 layovers, nearly a day and a half of travel, probably no sleep, sore back, couldn't believe it. I should have brought pain pills. I had not left the country before, and frankly I'm amazed I made it through customs and found the right terminals and so on. I just took it one step at a time. I didn't know about any of this. I just knew I wanted this long search for a wife to end. I identified one, and I was going to go to the end of the world if I had to find her. In my case, after arriving to LAX in Los Angeles, I asked somebody where I needed to go next, because we had this flight to Manila coming up, which was 14 and a half hours, and they pointed me to a counter. I stood in line in that counter, and after a while realized that the line wasn't moving, and I had to get out of that line. I had to go find Philippine Airlines, so I called my travel agent. Must have been right when they were opening, so they were there. They told me that I needed to take a shuttle. Maybe it was in my notes, I don't know, but that's what they told me to do. I went outside, found the shuttle, and when I walked into the door of where I was supposed to be, I found the Philippine Airlines was vacant. There was nobody there, and it was the right place to go. So something was wrong. It did take longer because of waiting in that line. Otherwise I wouldn't have been late, but I was. I put my 2 pieces of luggage down and called my agent, said something's wrong here, I'm here, nobody else is, and she said, did you check in? I said, well, yeah, I'm here, I checked in, here I am. But if you've traveled, you know what I didn't know, and the check-in means that you call them or go online and say that you're going to be there within 24 hours, which is just, to me, seems silly, because you have your itinerary, you've paid the money, why wouldn't you show up? I don't know, but I don't want to get started on travel things like that. But so anyway, my wife takes care of all that now for us, but I didn't know anything about that. So anyway, we got that figured out. So I had boarded 2 flights already, so I knew how much time had passed by this time. Now, I found anyone I could talk to and told them, look, I have to get on this plane because I'm going to the Philippines to be married. And I don't know if that helped, but I did find a Filipino worker, and he used his radio to ask what could be done or should be done, and after pacing around for a while, he waved me over, and I think I showed him some papers that I had, and we ran some stuff through the x-ray machine, and then they pointed me to my next stop, and to get ready to get on the plane. And then I realized when I made my last phone call, I left one of my bags downstairs, had the ring in it, had my meds in it. We had to go get it. Okay, so I told them about where I was standing. They radioed down. Fortunately, thankfully, they found it, and they brought it up and did what they had to do and ran me into where the plane entrance was. They said, don't worry about the paperwork, put me on the plane, and there we were, ready to go, and we got on, and what a thrill to see those little Philippine stewardesses, and I knew right away, okay, maybe the worst part was over. I was on my way to the Philippines to get married. So a 14-hour flight seemed like an eternity. It's just something you have to do, at least from here, from Nebraska. Now, when I first thought we were arriving after this 14-hour flight, I must have been bored to death from waiting because I was just assuming. I didn't look. I was getting tired of seeing that plane not move. And I asked some stewardesses, "Are we close?" I tried not to look and see how long we had to go. And I thought we were getting real close. And she said, "Oh, no, sir, we have 7 hours to go." My back was killing me. I was standing. I was sitting down. I was pacing around. Oh, boy, that was miserable. But, if you take back pills, or pain pills, rather, that should help your experience. I arrived anyway, in Manila. And it'd been about a day and a half. I was kind of tired and feeling it, and then I found out that my luggage was not available, and I was told that happens to several people every flight there. So I found somebody to fill out some paperwork to have my luggage sent to the Bayview Hotel in Manila that I was going to be at. And if that wasn't bad enough, I had to meet my wife, my fiance, there. And as was the case in most of the airports, the Wi-Fi did not work, so I was unable to contact her. And somebody there, a nice person, gave me their phone, and they suggested I get her number from Viber, because I had her Viber number. And they called, and she found it, and she was there. And then we decided where I had to go to meet her. So I went out there to find her, and was looking around. Frankly, a lot of women looked like her, but I was the one that stood out. And eventually she found me, and we were on our way. Our love story was continuing. Now, the weather in the Philippines was extremely hot, I thought, and that's part of the adventure of marrying somebody in the Philippines. We can spend the rest of our lives doing what is convenient and focusing on ourselves, living a single life. But I believe that results in an unsatisfying life, and this type of adventure was necessary for me. So, are adventures risky? It can be, but you're in control of the process of getting to know women when you're on a dating site. I found my wife on Christian Filipina, so hopefully my Indiana Jones days are over now. And what good was my comfort zone going to be if I was going to be alone and miserable? And I can rejoice now that the best is yet to come with my love beyond the sea.